Nancy, thank you so much for being here.
Marlene, thanks so much for inviting me to join you, and I'm so excited to be a part of your launch on north of the border.
Thank you, Nancy. So Nancy is quite an expert on the topic of nonprofit taglines, and for that reason I've asked her to share some of her insights by answering a few of my questions. So let's get started. Nancy, my first question is, what are some of the elements of a great nonprofit tagline?
Well, there are about 6 of them, Marlene. The first one is that it is a very short soundbite that extends your nonprofit's name. Many of our names, whether they've been shortened to unintelligible acronyms or not, are not really accessible to the rest of the world. So that's where a tagline can really help. So it works with your, it provides sort of an in a flash message that ideally offers a way in for your target audiences, whoever they may be, and it's one that, if created correctly, is easy to remember and to repeat.
Great, okay. So we know the elements now of creating, or what's in a great nonprofit tagline, but why is a great nonprofit tagline important?
Well, it's, as I said, it is almost like a telegraphic way to get people to understand how their preferences, their interests, their wants relate to the work of your organization. It's very useful. We tend to talk in the nonprofit world in way too many words. Mm-hmm. Oftentimes those words are jargon or other language that's not accessible. A tagline, by definition, is absolutely accessible. So that's a real boon for that connection you always want to place as a priority in your outreach. So that's really important. In addition, because taglines should be crafted to be easy to remember and to repeat, make sure they're easy to spell and easy to say, a good tagline has the potential to exponentially increase your reach. So the folks who are close to you now will get it, will remember it, and then there's the potential for them to convey your tagline to their networks. So you get this very broad exposure that you wouldn't otherwise get. And you could never buy that through any paid advertising.
Wonderful. Okay. So I personally have seen a lot of nonprofits doing things like using their mission statement as their tagline, or operating without a tagline at all. So do you have any message for the skeptics that just can't see those arguments you've already made?
Yeah, I mean, and there always are skeptics. I say to everyone, be prepared. One way to build, whether you're the skeptic or it's your boss or colleague who's the skeptic, one great way to see what's really the situation is to get in touch with organizations and that have and use powerful taglines. There are many of them. Let's say take a look at the most recent award winners of our nonprofit tagline awards, and you can see some very strong examples. Get in touch with any of those folks. Ask them what it adds to their communications. What's the before and after? That's really a great way to get a sense of whether investing in a tagline is the right thing for your organization, or to convince leadership, who in many cases are the skeptics about anything marketing, to do so.
That's great advice. So how can folks get their hands on the nonprofit tagline report?
Well, just come to our site, which is my blog and e-newsletter, gettingattention.org. At the top, you'll see a tab that takes you to tagline, taglines, all shapes and sizes. And there you'll see a link to the report. I'll also share a direct link with you later,
Great.
Marlene.
We'll post it in the notes then.
Mm-hmm.
And do you have any advice to share with nonprofits to help them get started with either revitalizing their existing tagline or developing a new one?
Definitely. One thing you want to make sure to do is involve your entire team in the process. I know that might sound like a terribly onerous thing to do, but it's going to help you both in developing the right or revising the right tagline, as well as ensuring it's used as broadly as possible once you have one. So what you want to do is start with some very basic information gathering. What are your colleagues, what are volunteers finding that they stumble on when they're talking about the work of your organization and its impact? Find out the questions that the folks they're talking to are asking, and that will give you a hint of where current stumbling blocks are, things that are getting in the way of folks understanding the value and impact of your organization, and thus are getting in the way of their taking an action to support your work. Next, go out there and develop a group of people who are willing to give a few minutes here and there throughout the year, people in your target audiences who are going to be guiding you through the tagline development process. It's never something you want to develop in a vacuum. You come up with ideas based on these insights that you get yourself and from your colleagues who are working, and especially the colleagues who are working, program staff or others who are on the ground talking to your target audiences on a regular basis. Based on those insights, and of course incorporating what you're trying to get to, what your marketing goals are, and looking at where the sweet spot is, where is the meeting of your marketing goals and the wants and habits of your target audiences. That sweet spot where those two things overlap is just where you should focus your tagline message. You can use, of course, any of a number of words to convey the same message. So play with a number of variations. In a program I offer, the Tagline Focus Project, I always suggest a group brainstorm meeting and some very specific exercises to break you and your colleagues out of the words that you tend to use all the time and try to get to some that really strike an immediate emotional chord. That's really what leads to ultimate engagement.
Wonderful. That's so important. So can you please tell us a little more about the Tagline Focus Project, as well as any other resources that you think will be useful for nonprofits interested in this area?
Yeah, sure will. Thanks, Marlene. The Tagline Focus Project, and the next session actually starts May 7th, so this is great timing for us to be able to talk about it and tell your community, is a small group at your desk. So not only have we had folks from Canada, we've had folks participate from as far as New Zealand and Australia. Opportunity to work with me and about 14 others in a small group and some one-to-one situation to craft a tagline for your organization, program, service, event, or even campaign. So what I do is I take folks through this proven process. About 100 people have already gone through this process with success, that uses templates, tools, one-to-one critiques, and stuff such as I actually share with the folks in this program all the tricks of the trade that I use with my consulting clients who hire me to work with them to develop their taglines and other messages. It's really available in a way that's far less expensive through the tagline process project, if I could only say it.
Mm-hmm.
Plus, it allows folks to really build the skills themselves, and that's something I strongly believe in. You finish the program with a tested tagline ready to launch, as well as the skills and tools to build more effective nonprofit messages.
Excellent. Well, I hope people do get involved and take advantage of this program, because I know that taglines are an area that a lot of nonprofits really do struggle with.
I'm sorry, it's always hardest, and you can ask, you could have asked Hemingway about this, it's always hardest to convey impact in fewer words rather than more. Ask any writer.
Absolutely.
So that's why a tagline is really a challenge. Once you do the work to get to your tagline, you have the work done for all of your other core messages.
That's true. That's a very important insight. So those are all my questions for you today, Nancy. Did you have anything else you wanted to add?
I just want to invite your community, Marlene, to participate in the Tagline Focus Project, and I'd like to make a special offer to them. I know that many are, your folks are just going to be joining us with this conversation as you launch.
Yes.
At the beginning of May, and I'd like to extend a special discount to the community of $200 off of registration in the Tagline Focus Project. And the best way, the easiest way to make sure that that happens is simply to email me at nancy@gettingattention.org. Tell me you're part of the community and request the discount. And I'll make sure that you sign up in a way that gets you that $200 discount.
Wonderful. Well, Nancy, I really appreciate you taking the time to share all of your very valuable insights on taglines today. And that's it. Thank you so much for being here.
Marlene, thanks so much, and I'm looking forward to seeing how the community evolves. Great work that you're doing.
Thank you so much.
Okay.
Have a great day.
Bye-bye.